Hello, beautifuls. It's Charla here with Dragonfly Soul Healing. So I am jumping on today because there's so much energy happening around us right now, and I'm seeing a lot of people going through their triggers, and there's a lot of things shifting and kind of catapulting us into new energies, and yet because of that shakeup, trying to get us to that next level, we're really uncomfortable, and that's causing a lot of people to dive into these addictions. And so one of the things I've been seeing is the masculines are really going through a lot of stuff right now with this suppression energy. It was something that some of my healers and I were tapping into yesterday, working a lot of the grids. It feels like a lot of this secret suppressed energy is wanting to come to the surface right now. And so because of that, it's causing this real shakeup, and this black and white card at the bottom of the deck over here, when I shuffled a couple decks today, it's causing them to feel like they're in two worlds. And I don't think it's just the masculines. I'm seeing the masculines really going through this suppression, and yet the feminines, the mother side, they're also going through some really big triggers because of where the children have been hurt in the past. And it feels like we might have some secrets coming to the surface, some exposures or something like this coming up. And I think this is why collectively the energy is feeling this this real pressure cooker of all these old wounds, like trying to stir almost. The mother wound, the child wound, and especially around that sexual trauma as well. And so we really need to be patient with ourselves at this time and work through those triggers and look at what we're being asked to release and come to terms and accept everything that we're holding in our system. We're also really being asked to clear some big energies, especially if we haven't been doing that work as much. So this is where you're probably going to be called to start doing some sessions, or getting back into your yoga practices, or eating better, or doing more meditations, doing more nature, all this stuff, because we are getting pushed into and guided towards those addictions. And I posted something on the Facebook group earlier about addictions and the different reasons we use different drugs. And so it's interesting, it didn't go deep into many drugs, just the basics like the cocaine and stuff like that. And I'm curious to see what they would tap into for the deeper stuff as well. But there's a lot of things coming up being asked to shift. So I'm going to pull from this one deck. I don't pull from it much, but when I was like resetting my cards, I kind of do that every day. These cards were like jumping all over. I couldn't even hardly shuffle them. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to use this deck and see what happens. The listen for guidance comes up, the ear chakra. And so this one is really showing like we're moving some energy here while we do this. And cycles as well came out with it. So we're listening for guidance as to where these cycles are taking place, and seeing these, a lot of this is old stories showing up. So this is the thing that I was seeing, is there was a lot of work that I was doing in the town the other day in Salmon Arm, where I was just walking around, and we were moving a lot of energy, and there was so much stuff just showing up for us. It was just meant to be like a quick little walk around the block kind of thing to get some fresh air, and it ended up being like a 45-minute stopping everywhere and doing some work on these things and taking some codes from these things, and it was just like so much craziness because of all these cycles that were coming up. And so that listening for guidance, it's like we're getting brought exactly where we need to be to do the work that we're being shown and guided to. So right now it's like, pay attention to the cycles that are showing up. Are these even your stories, or is this some past life stuff showing up? Because I'm seeing a lot of that as well. It was happening back when actually somebody brought up the floods today in BC, but it was also happening around the winter solstice as well, around that full moon. There was a lot of old timelines, Egyptian timelines showing up on top of the timeline that we're on, right? So they were merging within each other. So we couldn't tell if this was the Egyptian timeline or if this was this timeline. Like, we were in this like murky water, right? It's like this in between where it's like we still feel like we're in some of this trauma here, but really we're trying to move towards this clearer picture. And so we're coming back to self. Interesting is what's next. So this self card here is really about coming back, and there's that purity as well. So it's about coming in and healing those timelines and feeling those emotions. Interesting's at the bottom here, that sacral chakra. And so there again there's that sexual energy, right? And so I feel like what's happening is this energy that's stirring up, it's actually affecting the way that you're being creative and the ability to actually really keep doing that work, because it's pulling you off guard and recreating those old stories of like, I'm not good enough or worthy enough and all this stuff. And so the wise woman of the grove comes up, says grace, and I feel like this one's really talking about stepping into that ancestor energy. It's hard to see, but we've got like a grandmother here. So it's like that ancestor energy is showing up. But right now it's about picking up these codes that are showing up for you and taking in these ancestor codes of all of that magic that we used to hold before. So while we're in this weird energy, it's like tap in and find where we held magic in this timeline, not just that chaos, because there's energies that are making us see that authority at the bottom. So that authority energy is trying to come in and make us see all those bad things, all that darkness, so that we go back into said darkness, right? So there's a big push right now, and that's what I'm seeing a lot with my clients is all these things are coming up, things that they thought they had healed and things that they thought they had let go of. All of a sudden they're talking about it the whole time in session, and we're working and pulling out all the layers and pieces out of that energy because it was unexpected. But it's like that's what's going on, is we think we've removed ourselves from it, but what's happening is as we're trying to move forward, there's energies pulling these cycles up, being like, hey, remember that dark stuff down here? But in this lifetime, we don't just have darkness, we always see a lot of magic as well. So what if instead of allowing these timelines to dictate that, what if you tapped into that ancestors' magic, those magical ancestors that were in here playing with the magic and knowing the magic and being with the earth? What if you allowed that to change? We've got this dragonfly spirit here. Move with this energy. Allow that energy to come in and change. We literally have a waterfall here coming down, cleansing this energy, and I feel that storm brewing, right, where there's this cleanse that wants to come in. And I see that. I feel like we're going to have some moisture here in the next little bit to cleanse this, to bring in these new beginnings, right? So find some magic. Feel your emotions right now. Go through that energy release. I did create an emotional release video that is available for purchase. So I will, if you're interested in that, let me know and I will get you the link and we can kind of discuss that. I'm still working on getting it fully into purchase mode. However, I'm sure we can work some things out as well, because I would love for you guys to be working on that clearing of those emotions and those energies to start breaking those cycles. So right now, pay attention to what your body's requiring. If you're being asked to just go for a walk or just turn down this block or whatever it is, pay attention, because there's a reason, because it's bringing in those changes. So this is where we can really heal if we start paying attention to what we're being shown. So let's just pull one more card to kind of see how we need to end this off. I only have like 2 more minutes on my phone because apparently I've made too many videos and haven't deleted them enough. Patterns. And there's the pleasure underneath it. So we have this Venus energy and these patterns showing up with that. And so really pay attention if you're getting really drawn into some sexual energy right now. Truth, is this yours? Because one of the big things is we're getting really pulled into that energy, that luring energy. Again, it's pulling us back into that darkness. Who are you sleeping with right now? You know, if we're just having random partners and stuff like this, you don't know what you're tapping into, and we can feel the chaos around us. So pay attention to that. Pay attention if you're still drinking. What is your energies going on? What is going on in your energy field while you're drinking? How's your house feeling after that? How are you feeling the next day? What is causing you to feel like you need to drink more? Okay, so my phone's blinking at me, telling me I'm running out of time. So I'm going to end this, but I really want you to focus on that, is what energy are you putting in your field and in your body? Because if we're putting some really heavy toxic stuff in here or trying to mask it with sexual energy, what are you actually putting in your energy field while trying to mask something else? If we don't pay attention to that, our life's going to get more chaotic. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you need a session, let me know. You can book a session online or message me and I will help you get booked. And I will chat with you again soon. Take care.